This is a video demonstration of how to apply a soft restraint to a patient wrist. The same procedure would apply to an ankle. We're going to demonstrate on a mannequin arm. We realize that a mannequin arm is cooperative and your actual patient may not be this cooperative, but these are the steps to get it on securely and properly. Take your soft restraint, put it around the patient's wrist, and secure it with this Velcro tab. That gets your restraint initially on. You can spin the restraint around. It's not that tight right now. And you're going to tighten it by getting this turnbuckle, the bottom slot on this turnbuckle, feeding the short nylon strap through it. Back through the top of the turnbuckle. Pull that strap tight. Make sure you can get a finger between the restraint and the patient's wrist or skin so you're not compromising circulation. Once you have the restraint on the patient's wrist or ankle, you need to secure the restraint. You can do this by tying both nylon straps together using a slip knot. And I stress slip knot so the next person that has to come in and take this off the patient to go to the bathroom can remove the knot by doing one pull. When you secure this, find a solid anchoring point. Do not use bed rails. Do not use pinch points. Make sure that whatever you secure the restraint to, that when somebody comes in to do anything with the patient, that you're not moving equipment that would give undue traction or tension to the patient's extremity that the restraint is on. If you really want to limit range of motion, you don't have to tie these together. You can tie these off separately using your slip knot. Tie one at one end of the bed or chair and another one at a different anchoring point. That will greatly limit range of motion. Or if you can also tie them both together like I've just demonstrated, and that gives the patient just a little bit more ability to move their extremity without causing them any undue stress or pain. This is a video demonstration of how to apply a hard restraint, also known as a security restraint, a locked Velcro restraint. We're going to use this on a mannequin arm, which is very cooperative in real life. Your patients, you might need assistance. It's probably not a one-person operation. Take the unlocked restraint, wrap it around the patient's wrist. The Velcro is infinitely adjustable, making sure not to make it too tight that you can get a finger between the restraint and the patient's wrist so you don't compromise circulation. To tighten this restraint, feed the short nylon strap through the bottom of the lock, getting it as tight as you need it to be for this patient, and press down to lock the restraint. The click confirms that the restraint's now locked. We're going to secure the locked hard restraint. I'm going to tuck this short nylon strap out of the way so you can see in the video how we secure this bottom longer strap. Find your anchoring point. Make sure it's not a bed rail. Use a bed frame or something that does not have a pinch point, because you're going to extremely compromise the patient's range of motion when you use this type of restraint. Once you have your long nylon strap wrapped around your secure point, feed the end of it through the lock, making it as long or short as you need it to be for your application, and press the latch down to hear it click. That confirms that it's locked. When you need to remove these restraints, you can access the lock with this key. That's available through the charge nurse or security. You insert the key into the locking mechanism, turn it counterclockwise, and it opens up. And now you can remove the restraint. You can take the patient to the bathroom, or you can just completely remove the restraint because the patient does not need to be in restraints any longer. This is a video demonstration of how to apply a mitt. The Department of Health does consider these a form of restraint. When you want to apply this, it might help if you have a coworker help hold the patient's arm still, if a coworker is available. Hold the restraint open, or the mitt open, slide it over the patient's hand, making sure you get all the fingers into the mitt. Once you get it on the patient's hand, you can tighten the restraint using this nylon strap and this little turnbuckle. Put the strap through there. The Velcro will hold it in place. It's not too tight. I can get a finger between the restraint and the patient's wrist. You can peel this part back to check nail beds to make sure that you're not compromising circulation. And then you can tuck this padded part back in. It's got a little Velcro patch that you can re-secure it. This is a video demonstration of how to do a manual hold on a patient while the patient is lying on their back. Depending on where you work in the hospital, you may have an adjustable bed, an adjustable stretcher, or a seclusion bed which is non-adjustable. If the patient wants to sit up in the bed or the stretcher, you can make those adjustments with that device while still securing the patient. If the patient wants to sit up on a seclusion bed, you'll have to hold the patient still. That's not adjustable. When holding the patient's upper extremities, avoid locking joints. Secure the wrist or the forearm with your other hand on the bicep, tricep area to hold the arm still. If you have to hold the shoulder area, avoid digging into pressure points or applying any pressure point or undue pain to the patient. Do not reach across the patient. And when you're holding the patient, don't make a fist. Keep your hand bladed. This may help you to avoid being spit on, or the patient can't bite you as easily if your hand is open as opposed to a fist. We're continuing on with our video demonstration of how to secure a patient on their back. When we're securing the patient's lower extremities, we want to avoid locking the knee joint or locking any joint. We want to apply just enough pressure to control the patient. We don't want to use excessive force, and we don't want to apply anything that would be considered a pressure point hold. You would take one hand and secure the calf, ankle area, and use your other hand to go above the knee and the thigh area, keeping your hands open, no fist, using just enough force to control the patient to provide the care that we need to care at this point in the episode. We're going to demonstrate on this mannequin what a two-person hold looks like, and then we'll convert the hold into a two-person carry. And the only difference between the hold and the carry is if the patient's feet are moving or not moving. Currently, the patient's standing still, so we'll demonstrate the hold. We've secured the patient's arms. We're going to take and put our respective arms under the patient's arm, keeping our hands bladed. We are now supporting the patient. This is a two-person hold. When we convert to a two-person carry, we're going to get our hips in against the patient's hips so we can control the patient, and then we're going to walk slowly using short steps to where we need to go with the patient. Ready, Mike?
Yes.
Walk.